Hey you guys, I know that last week Alyssa posted a craft video, and I actually have a couple planned that I want to do with you as well. And today, Erin and I have spent the morning making these just little kind of pom-pom bookmarks. And they're super simple to make, and it's a really low-cost craft to do. A skein of yarn, if you don't have it, you can get it really affordably for about $3 a skein. And a skein is going to make several of these. And you can get a variegated. I have a couple of different, or this one is a variegated yarn, so everyone would look different, and you'd only have to invest in one skein. But I just used yarn from my stash. I crochet a lot, and I have 4 boxes full of just leftover yarn that I've gotten either from remnant places or have been left over from projects. So to start, all you need is yarn and a pair of scissors. When we started, we used both hair cutting scissors and regular kitchen scissors, and neither of them are quite as successful, although the hair scissors are more successful than the kitchen scissors. And the most successful we've had are these, which are sewn in the sewing section. They're just little sewing scissors made to snip the ends of thread off of hems or to cut yarn if you're making a project. So to start, you're going to cut a pretty long piece of yarn. I have been doing somewhere between 15 and 24 inches just so I have extra to work with. And this is going to become the tail of your bookmark. So you're going to trim it down, but I like to have extra space to work with. And I'm going to link the original place for the project. I'm going to link that here. And I've made a couple of changes to their original project as I've gone along. I've just found some things that are easier to do. But to start, you're going to just take around 3 fingers and you're going to loop your yarn. The website says about 90 times. But it just depends on what kind of yarn you use. This is a really fine weight yarn. It's not... I just dropped my yarn on the floor. So I'm going to do more than I would do with either a bulky weight or even just a standard worsted weight yarn. So you just wind and wind and wind, and then you wind some more until you get what... Just leave it. It's fine. I'm just going to leave that on the floor because it's not successful. Until you get a pretty good little group. And then you're going to snip it. You should probably snip it and then pull it off your hand. But clearly I'm not doing a very good job today of making that happen. Then you take your tail. And this is where I deviate from the website. The website says to cut an 8 to 10 inch piece and tie that first. I find that this is a little easier all in all. So about 4 to 6 inches from the top of your tail, just put your little wound piece. And this is probably where you're going to need some assistance. I have Erin beside me for that very reason. But you're going to awkwardly tie things because you've forgotten how to do that. Tie it once, and then have someone hold that down and tie a second time. Because this is truly, I feel like the most important step is getting that knot tied really securely. Once you've done that, you have loops, and if any of you have made pom-poms, this is going to be really easy for you. If you haven't made pom-poms, things are going to get a little dicey. But you have some loops right here, and you're just going to use your scissors and cut through each of those. You don't want to have any loops left afterwards, because these little strings are what are eventually going to make your pom-pom. So, it takes some practice to make good pom-poms. After you get all of your strings cut, it's going to kind of look like this, which is a little bit of a mess. As you can see, it clearly is in need of a haircut. And like I said, when you first start these, it takes a lot of practice. Our first attempt was gigantic. And is not quite, this is after we've trimmed it twice. And then our second attempt was a little better, but still was kind of dicey. But as you can see as we went along, this is one of the most recent ones that we made. And it worked really well. So don't be alarmed if your first couple look kind of like a disaster. Pre-plan for that and be prepared to just do several different several different ones before you get them perfect. And perfection is overrated anyway, so sometimes they're more adorable all jacked up. But to start, I hold the tail. Always hold the tail so you don't cut it by accident and end up with just a pom-pom and no bookmark section. But I like to pull all of my yarn up and kind of gather it between like my thumb and my forefinger, holding the tail at the end of my hand, and just kind of try to even it up right here. And this isn't going to do everything that I need, but it is going to get rid of some of the really long pieces. And sometimes at this step you'll find that you haven't gotten all of your loops cut, and that's really helpful. To go ahead and just, see, I've got a couple right there that I missed, and you just go in and get them trimmed. Then throughout this entire process I fluff my puffball a lot, my pom-pom a lot, just so I can see where I'm at. The trick at this step is to continuously move your pom-pom around so that you can see what it looks like. And I like to start at the bottom and just cut in a circle while moving my, I move the pom-pom in a circle while I just make cuts. And when you first start trimming, you're going to have some larger pieces of yarn that you're cutting off, and the further along that you get, the more condensed and smaller trimming. It's going to just essentially be like you're shaving peach fuzz. So, just be really careful that you don't over trim. That's why you have to keep moving the ball so that you know. That's why I also continuously, every little bit, I make sure that I fluff it. The fluffing does two things. It gets all of the little excess pieces out of the middle of your pom-pom, as you can see them fly out. But it also lets you know how you're doing as far as getting it shaped the way you want to shape it. I've been making most of my pom-poms pretty small because, like I said, it's going to be a bookmark, and most of the books that we read are not like massive tomes. If I was going to do one for the dictionary, maybe I'd do one a little larger, but like this one that we still have to, like, that one's going to be much smaller by the time we finish trimming it because it's a little ridiculous. So you just keep working it continuously until you get the length or the pom-pom the way you desire it to look. And it's always a good idea. You can always set stuff aside and come back to it a little bit later if you're not positive. And you might, when you get ready to pack them up, you might decide that there's a couple of strands. But when you finish, again, my pom-pom is pretty cute. It won't stop spinning. But it's pretty full. And again, it's not uniform or perfect because perfection is overrated. So then to finish my tail, which is the last step, I just have a couple of different books pretty close by on hand of different sizes, so I can kind of determine what I want size-wise. And I just kind of pull the pom-pom tight at the top. I've got pieces stuck in it. Pull the pom-pom tight at the top, and I just leave about an inch and a half overlap at the bottom. So there you go. Pom-pom bookmarks. They're really easy and quick and simple. And like I said, most of the supplies you're already going to have on hand if you do any kind of craft work. And if you don't, it's still a really affordable craft because, that's right, because yarn is a really cheap thing. And something you can keep on hand because it's really useful in a lot of different crafting. So if you guys attempt pom-pom bookmarks, like I said, I'm going to leave in the doobly-doo, I'm going to leave the website where I got this from originally, and it has really good pictures to help you figure out what exactly to do. And if you have any questions, leave those. If you make them, feel free to leave us a response letting us know how they turned out. You guys have a great day. Bye!